I was right. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I was right. Okay. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that Kinemon was going to be a character that would disrupt the One Piece metagame. You look at the card and you read its effect and you say, hey, look, hold on, you're able to cheat out characters early. That's why a lot of people thought Doflamingo was going to be really strong, and he's seen some good play early on in the metagame before people started hopping on the Trafalgar Law as well as the Kid deck, and that really took steam. But with Kinemon, he has access to the package that I've been talking about that is so broken in the game right now. The Wano Country package. I've made multiple videos on my channel talking about this even before Set 2 came out. Once Kinemon was released, I made a video talking about how excited I was for Kinemon. I made a video specifically talking about why green is overpowered, and it's because of the Wano package. And then also, I made a third video talking about the leaders that I'm most excited for, putting Kinemon at the very top. So I'm not surprised about this. Hopefully you guys aren't surprised about it at all, but Kinemon is actually performing very, very well over in Asian countries. So first and foremost, make sure you guys go ahead and follow me on Twitter if you guys want to see more meta decks, more meta builds of everything that's happening over in the APAC region. Make sure you guys go ahead and do that because I will be retweeting, liking, all that good stuff. Now, with that being said, links to all of the deck profiles will be in the description with their respective owners. And this is game_r_zz's build, as well as Sohei's build. And Sohei won 2 events with Kinemon. So before we get into the build, before we start talking about that and I give you guys my thoughts, let's take a look at the matchups. So Game went up against Blue Doflamingo, which for me, I'm extremely happy because Doflamingo is looking really, really nice right now. Blue actually got some pretty good buffs. I will be talking about that in a future video. You guys know I love my Doflamingo and all that good stuff. I'm not going to harp on that. But it was a 32-player tournament, so he beat Doflamingo, he beat Smoker. I also have a Smoker deck profile. I know I keep giving myself shoutouts, but I have a Smoker deck profile, Control Smoker, which is actually looking pretty good. Even right now in tournaments, I know that I seen a list that also topped as well an event this past a couple days ago. So yeah, Control Smoker is really good. So stay tuned for that as well for some other Smoker lists. But also beating another Doflamingo, a Red Luffy, as well as another Smoker. So that's what game went up against. For Sohei, entered 2 events. The first one that I have here beat Red Luffy, beat Mono Green Kid, beat Mono Green Kinemon, and then beat Mono Red Zoro. In the other tournament, beat Mono Red Zoro, Red Luffy, Red Green Law, Green Kid, Purple Kaido, Black Smoker, Green Kinemon, and Purple Black Zephyr. Yeah, so I mean, this is a pretty good spread of decks, right? Like, let's be real here. This is not just like some random meme smile decks that it's beating, or like more lower tier decks. It's beating the Green Kids. It's, you know, obviously mirror match. It's beating the new up and coming Zoro deck. It's beating, you know, the Luffy deck. It's beating Kid. It's beating Kaido. It's beating a lot of things right now, okay? This deck is very powerful. So those are the matchups. Now, let's talk about how the deck works, why it works, how it functions, why is it so strong. It's quite simple. The Wano package. I've made a video on this. I've harped on it before in the past. I'm not going to talk about it too much here. But as long as you are running cards from the Wano package, you cannot fail. You have Izo, you have Raizo, you have your Okiku, right? You have your Okiku, you have your Momonosuke to search. As long as you have those, your Cat Viper, as long as you're playing those in some numbers, you are going to see some successes. Now, here is where the deck truly becomes alive, right? Of course, I thought Kinemon was going to be great, but I think everybody knew that Kinemon was going to be a deck to play and a deck to look out for once the 8-cost Odin was revealed. This is a card that can swing twice, right? It literally has the effect as a character card, as a leader, right? It literally has Mono Green Kid's text on him. You tap 3 Dawn and he can reactivate himself. He can restand himself and swing again with 8,000 power. That is absurd. It's very strong. And once he gets KO'd, you can go ahead and bring out a Raizo. You can bring out an Izu if you want to rest something, if you want to rest a blocker, right? So then when it swings back to your turn, you can go ahead and go for game. You can bring out an Okiku. All of these things are really good. So that opened up things. But then another card that a lot of people overlooked in the beginning, but now people can't overlook it, is the 4-cost Yamato. 6,000 power and will rest anything with a cost of 6 or less. This card is so good. And we see here in games list, he's only running 3, Sohei's running 4. In the build that I was running 4 as well. I really like it at 4. I think this card is... Guys, just playtest with this. Playtest with the Yamato. Play with 4 copies, play with 3 copies. Just playtest this card. There's going to be situations where you use it and you're going to say, I love this card. This card is so good. 6 and lower, guys, come on. It can deal with everything. It's so good. And 6,000 power 4-drop is really, really good. So that is the Wano package, right? The Wano package was strong and it got stronger because it added Yamato, it added Odin. Right. So now Kinemon obviously allows you to cheat things, play things out really early. Your early strategy is to try to get board control using Okiku. You want to limit the amount of damage you take as well because you really want to play for your Odin, right? Odin is your win con. If you can get to Odin, you are in a very, very good spot. And so as you see a lot of these lists, both of these lists for Sohei are the same, as well as games lists, you see that these lists also infuse the Supernova package with Julie Bonnie as a searcher. You got Capone Gang Beige for defense as well as killer, and then you also have your 2k counter and a poo. Now this is something that I haven't experimented yet with my build. I wasn't really implementing that heavy of a Supernova package in mine, but I'm definitely going to start testing it out because clearly it's been having success. But it definitely makes sense, right? This package is really good because not only are you able to search your blockers in beige as well as killer for the defensive end, but you're also able to potentially pull a 2k counter off your Jewelry Bunny, right? So you're going to continuously get value that way. But then we also see that the lists differ a little bit with Sohei just running 2 copies of the X-Drake, whereas Game was running 2 X-Drake and 1 Hawkins. So there's a little bit more Supernovas that you could pull from as well. So I guess it just comes down to testing, personal preference, and oh, how can I forget the 2 7-cost kids in both builds, right? So with that being said, I think that the ideal way right now, based on what we've seen, I believe that there was one other list of another guy. I couldn't find it, but I've seen people talking about it. Another guy topped with Kinemon as well. From what I've seen, it's the new and improved Wano Country package in addition with a Supernova package. That is the ideal way to play this. Basically how Mono Green Kid was, where it was a Supernova package with Wano. Well, this is a Wano package with Supernovas. And obviously you play your copies of Waterfall Paradise because that card is cracked. 1 cost, 2,000 counter, which is not the greatest, but the most beneficial effect of it is being able to restand a character so it can't be swung into again. That cannot be understated. Guys, Kinemon is going to be a force. It's going to stay here. But with that being said, I don't want people to like freak out and everything because remember, at the start of OPO1, what were the top decks? We've seen a lot of Zoro. We've seen a lot of Kaido. And if you look at the APAC region and seen what was winning OPO1 tournaments towards the end, it was Red Green Law and Mono Green Kid, right? So the metagame definitely shifted. Of course, there were still some Kaidos. There were some Zoros with the new list as well, playing some more vanillas and all those things. But let's be real. The dominant decks were Red Green Law as well as Kid. We've seen a little bit of blue getting a little bit more resurgence because of matchup, but it was those 2 decks. And now we see Kinemon this early. Don't sleep on blue this format, guys. Don't sleep on blue. OPO2 blue bars rhyming accidentally will be a force as well. I will have a video on that later on. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are so far this early on in the meta. We see a lot of people opting to pick Smoker over Sakazuki for black. Remember, I have a deck profile for Control Smoker. A lot of people are opting to play the Control Smoker playstyle. But then, of course, we have Kinemon. What are your thoughts so far? What do you guys think about this deck profile? Have you guys played with Kinemon? Will you guys try him out? What are your thoughts on these lists not playing the 5-drop Yamato, the secret rare? I'm really curious to hear you guys' thoughts. Make sure to like, share the video, leave a comment with your thoughts. Make sure that you guys subscribe. I don't know how many times I've said it, but make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure to check out my Twitter, all those good things, or I will steal your devil fruit. I am Blackbeard after all. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.